Hello, everyone. Welcome to STEAM Spark Think STEAM Career Podcast. I am Dr. Ayo Olufade. Today, I would like to talk to you about the future of education in Africa and how do we, as Africans, sustain the revolution that is starting to take shape. According to UNESCO 2024, the face of education in Africa is changing. There is authentic learning taking place. The integration of AI and customized learning is reshaping the classroom learning, and it is helping the students to reimagine their future in a revolutionary way that has not been possible before. There are countries like Rwanda, Kenya, and Ghana that have revolutionized their teaching and education by through the integration of AI and customized learning supported by their national policy framework. Now, that is extremely encouraging. Across the continent, there are also signs students in a rural area learning coding. Classrooms are using a virtual simulation to teach complex sciences. Personalized learning platforms are reaching more learners who not long ago do not have access to all of these things. So this is really encouraging and it must be lauded. Parents, policymakers, cultural stewards, national leaders, they must be supported. They must be empowered to cultivate a growth mindset at home, encouraging curiosity, resilience, and love for learning beyond just exams. Policymakers must move beyond short-term fixes and invest deeply in infrastructure, teacher development, equitable access to digital resources. The promise of transformation cannot be sustained, cannot be realized by a fragile foundation. There has to be a strong and solid foundation. National leaders must also view education as the heartbeat of economical growth for their nation, national security, and innovation. They have to view education not as a sector to be managed, but a core pillar for national strategy. And crucially to this also are the involvement and participation of the chiefs, the king, the patriarch, who must champion education as a living extension of African heritage. They must remind us and they must remind our community that learning, storytelling, innovation, and cultural pride are not Western import. They are African strength and foundation that must be preserved, amplified, and evolved over time. Transformation demands an ecosystem, right? This ecosystem involves the following stake players. The parents, who are important when it comes to nurturing. The policymakers are very important when it comes to investing. The leaders, the national leaders, are important in creating a great vision for the country and the growth of the country and security of the country. And the cultural stewards, which the chiefs, the chieftains, the kings, and the patriarchs and the men and women to inspire. When we bring all these forces together, Africa's educational renaissance then becomes unstoppable. Talking about leadership, I also want to bring to your attention that I have written a children's book as a way to expose our children to science early on. I believe that to me as a parent, we start early at home. Just like that saying, say, charity begins at home. That is part of the reasons why I wrote Glucose Goes to the Party. Glucose Go to the Party is a colorful and a fun in science instructional book to help expose children to terms such as glucose, insulin, and diabetes at an early age. I believe when we teach children as young as 3 about how their body works, and when we make science accessible and joyful, we are teaching facts. We're building the future, doctors, the future, biotechnologists, and innovators. Glucose Goes to the Party is more than a story, it is a movement to make science a part of every child's story, regardless of background. You can find this book in places like the Amazon or Barnes& Noble online. Thank you for reflecting with me today. Remember, transformation is not automatic, it is intentional. Each of us has a role to play in building an Africa where every child can dream boldly and learn fearlessly. If today's discussion inspires you, share it with a parent, with a policymaker, with a community leaders. Start the conversation. Raise the question, offer a hand. Let's rise to the challenge together. Until next time, stay inspired and stay committed. See you next time. Bye.